Vision India Forum is very happy and proud to welcome Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia ji. See, मेरे मुंह से, I just keep uttering Hari Prasad Chaurasia.
I'll make it simple so you don't call me Pandit, because Pandit is only Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, only my guru, and the student will be always a student. So please, मुझे आप सिर्फ राकेश बोलिए.
Rakesh ji, thank you so much, for joining us. We are proud to have with us Rakesh Chaurasia ji, the great flautist, somebody who carries the tradition that was floated by Pandit Shri Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, Padma Vibhushan, Pandit Shri Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, who is very closely associated with the forum as somebody who has been patronizing our initiative for eulogizing achievements and contributions of luminaries in various fields across the country, so that a roadmap is laid for the generations to come and emulate as as a good human practice from all sections possible, for the upcoming 100th year of independence in 2047, when India reaches the glorious 100 years of independence. And Prime Minister Modi has been instrumental in kind of positioning India's image as having soft powers in multiple fields like yoga, Ayurveda, and we've been pressing and pushing, though obviously not exclusively, but it is something which is not really unknown to most people across the world, that India's soft power has something called performing arts, which is an unparalleled kind of strength that this country possesses. And if it can really, position itself properly and capitalize on this strength going forward, which the world always used to recognize, has been recognizing, and not we don't have to really go very far, too much. We don't have to dig too much into the past if we have to find out how much recognition Indian musicians have been receiving, considering the kind of applause, the kind of recognition it has been bestowed to the Indian musicians in the last couple of days through the Grammys, which is globally one of the most powerful musical recognitions in the world. And they have recognized, 5 top personalities from Indian performing arts section, led by Ustad Zakir Hussain Saab, and along with his colleagues like Shankar Mahadevan, Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia ji, Pandit Selva Ganesh ji, Ganesh Rajagopalan ji, people from various fields. The band Shakti, which was led by Pandit Ustad Zakir Hussain, won the global album, for the moment. Similarly, Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia has won in a separate category, award for Pasto. I would first of all congratulate him on behalf of the country, because as he was telling me before this recording started, that this is probably the only major award that is received, and is evident from his profile, something which opens the kind of floodgates for musicians like him, and it will stand as inspiration for the younger generations to follow suit, that in this age of technology, where people are on probably the other side of machines, people like Rakesh Chaurasia carry the human tradition of Lord Krishna. Because as you say, one day I was speaking to Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji, and I told him which is the oldest instrument, and he told me, probably after voice it has to be flute, because Lord Krishna was associated with flute, and it's thousands of years old, mythological history that we have associated with our country. I'll not spend any more time. I will take you to Pandit Chaurasia now to take us through his journey, because he has got a very, very unenviable, lineage to really, carry forward the tradition. And, he has done them no lesser proud than by winning the Grammy Award. And as a countryman, as my own countryman, I feel so proud that I have an opportunity to interact with him, to learn from his experiences, and also what is the way forward, and what else does he expect from the government of India to make performing arts reach the pinnacle of power, success, and recognition, which it has been truly deserving, globally recognized. Probably it has a long way to go as far as our own country is concerned. Over to you, Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia ji. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho. Sir, only Rakesh, please.
राकेश जी,
हाँ जी,
अपनी ये जो कहानी है, इसको आगे बढ़ाएं, हमारे लेके जाएं हमें, कि आप कैसे, how did you really take this up, what age, and finally, what was so different and special in you that made you straight away, kind of a wild card entry into Grammys, and you gate crashed and you won the award which people strive for years. Pandit Vishwaman Bhatt, Zakir Hussain, all so on and so forth. And A.R. Rahman. So what made Rakesh Chaurasia, who is neither a Padma Shri, he is neither recognized as a Sangeet Academy Award winner even now, straight away a Grammy Award winner. Pandit Rakesh ji, over to you.
Well, I would like to thank God for this opportunity. And as you can see behind you, there's a lot of fans. I can see one fan up in the ceiling. And behind me is my Guru, my Krishna, with his blessings and with his teaching ability. And thanks to Grammy Award and special thanks to Zakir Hussain ji, uh, who has made me into this new era of music genre, to meet Bella Fleck and Edgar Meyer. And that was the way it started. We sat together for a couple of hours, seeing that whether this my kind of music is matching with their music. And happened to be in the beginning, I was a guest artist. I was called to perform there in Bluegrass Festival in San Francisco, where there was I cannot imagine. I can view that 65, 70,000 people sitting and listening to this bluegrass music. जहां तक आग जा रही थी वहां तक लोग बैठे थे. So beginning with that, and then we started touring a little bit. Then again, I was a guest artist playing some songs in the group, and then suddenly it happened to be just to cut an album. The album is called As We Speak, and then finally I'm cutting into short to cut the album in the same year, to be nominated and to win the Grammy Award. That also in two categories. So I'm really thankful to God, to my guru and my family. Thank you for having me on board.
Rakesh ji, your career path, if you could throw a little bit of light about how it progressed as a kid and where you grew up and what kind of education and training you received to finally land up today where you are. Rakesh ji, can you hear me?
Was born in Allahabad and then brought up in Bombay, native girl of Babaji. I called. You can hear me, right? Hello? You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So started from there, brought up in Bombay, and when I was very small, like age of 4.5, I used to roam around and play with my dinky cars and all that near Hariji, and he used to practice whenever he was there in town. And somehow that sound of the flute was, growing in my brain, and I started loving the sound. Maybe the way he was playing, and that time I didn't knew that who is Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia. I would have I taken him as a Babaji, ठीक है हमारे family member है. And then suddenly there was a small gathering of family function, and where he came out and he said, anybody wants to learn any instrument, please let me know. So I was the first one. जैसे school में करते हैं, हाथ ऊपर करके. I didn't know the name of the instrument. I said, the instrument what you play. So that day he just brought me a small flute and gave me. And that became my toy. Thanks to the technology at that time, there wasn't any much gadgets around, to be distracted. Just television and just one movie on Sundays, and in the morning, Tom and Jerry, what I used to watch. So, और कुछ था नहीं, so it was for me, that small flute has become a part of my life, and I'm still carrying the longer flute, the bigger flute I'm playing, and I couldn't believe that this piece of bamboo can take me around the whole world. And yesterday, I just came this morning at 4 from the Grammy ceremony, and we have won the Grammy, and I'm very proud. The first thing came in my mind was not about having me the Grammy. It's something I'm doing through music for my country.
That is what I was reading, yesterday, whatever glimpses of news articles that were coming my way, the kind of nationalistic fervor associated with your comments
Mhm.
were quite unparalleled compared to your peers. So, how much do you probably lay the give the credit to the country and its culture and its social fabric to make you where you have reached today?
Well, this country have given me everything. Uh, I have born here and did my music thing and learned. And I've started performing from the age of 6, which was my first concert in television. Santa Kukri, there was a channel for kids where I played. Then I did my first concert when I was 9 in St. Javis College. I still remember where I really played along the flute, and I started getting the comment, "Oh wow, he's like his uncle." So that was a proud moment for me. Then slowly I started hearing that what we can get from you, yeah, young age thing, new age, something special or different. But different was very difficult because Babuji was already a star. So whatever I wanted to do, and I went back and listened to his recording, that thing was already done. So it's quite challenging, and it's also at the same moment as we say, every coin has the two side, plus and minus. So expectation of people that okay, he comes from that gharana, so he must be good. But to carry that heavy surname Chaurasia legacy on the shoulder, I take it positive way that okay, it keeps me on my toes. The more I practice, the more I can fulfill the need of the audience, and that's the way it's going.
I
I
mean,
keep
this
trying
is
my best. I still go to learn from Babaji, and every time, that's the amazing part that whenever we go to him, he always has something new to serve you. अरे ये तो phrase सुना ही नहीं, ये तो बजाना सुना ही नहीं कभी. So I think I always say that I have not seen Krishna, I have not heard him. I have seen Babaji and I've heard him, so he is my Krishna.
My first interaction with Pandit Hari Prasad ji was a few years back, one to one. But
Hmm.
my first exposure to his sheer magnificence and brilliance,
Hmm.
unprecedented, unparalleled, and probably impossible to replicate brilliance, was
Hmm.
as a child myself. In my
Hmm.
school, there was a particular function where he was invited along with,
Okay.
I think, Pandit Jasraj or somebody. I don't remember.
Okay.
So in Calcutta, where I grew up in St. James's School, and there is my first experience of listening to the world's. And that time, just like you, I never knew what I was, experiencing. And today,
Correct. Correct. Correct.
when I reflect upon that particular evening, I realized that, oh my God, we were so lucky to have witnessed something like that. Rakesh ji,
Yeah.
the generations today, they are too much into gadgets and technology. And in today's era and age, do you think Indian performing arts stands a very good chance, like probably your times or times before that? Or because this genre, this kind of dedication which is needed, do you think is today's generation in India it is possible?
Yeah, definitely possible. When I can do it, why not everybody can do it? Because जीती जागती मिसाल है बाबूजी, because the music in the family came from Hariji. Before that, my grandfather was a wrestler. So in one life, getting into the music, practicing, and achieving all the awards and the hearts of the audience. It's possible. I think maybe the way he used to practice, he still practice, only practice. If he's doing nothing, the flute is always in his hand, whether he's watching a television or whatnot. I think maybe whenever he goes to sleep, I think that is the only, and I think he sleep for a couple of hours, maybe 2, 3 hours, not more than that. I've not seen him getting up 4 in the morning. Whenever he's awake, the flute is in his hand. So I think the dedication and the commitment works. If anybody has, not in music, in any field, if you have a dedication And if your goal is fixed that, okay, I want to do this, it's possible. Why not? And I totally agree with you that the distraction is too much with taking all this gadget. Because once you sit with this gadget and it takes you to somewhere and suddenly you realize, okay, the couples of hours is gone of your life and that doesn't come back. So it depends on you, not in music, in any field, as I mentioned, that somebody should
I
have
again,
dedication.
I resonate whatever you just now told me, because my recent interaction, where my recent personal interaction and real life interaction with Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia was just a year back, year and a half, probably, yeah, absolutely a year back, when the same thing I experienced. The moment I entered his room along with my family to meet him, I could see him sitting in a chair, and with the flute he was practicing.
Yeah.
At peak afternoon, probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a time when a person of his age, 85 plus, would be probably going for a power nap. I could see him sitting straight. There were no signs of slumber or tiredness, and
No,
he
no,
had
no, no.
come back from early morning, because you guys have a overnight functions. The cultures are there for the functions to continue through the nights,
Yeah, yeah,
and probably
yeah.
he had his sitting at around 6 o'clock in the morning. So he was back in the hotel, in the place, by around 9 o'clock, and then he had no sleep. But at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he was sitting. But then, I know, Rakesh ji, this is about you more than about Chaurasia ji. Though, you would be very happy to be called the Parchai or the reflection of Chaurasia ji, Pandit Chaurasia ji. But then at the same
Thank you,
time,
thank you.
the world, the world is very keen to know what special, attributes you had. Like, he is a avid practitioner. He is somebody who eats, sleeps, dreams of flute and music. What made you so special to straight away, win the World Cup?
Coming back to your same question, कि ठीक है, everything is there, but his breath is flute, so which cannot be detached from the system. So, and it also matters because from the early age, from the age of 14, 15, I started traveling with him playing Tanpura on stage. So, lot of things to learn on stage, off stage. The humanity, the simplicity, I have not seen in any of this kind of great artists. Simple. I means desires are minimal. Music. 24 hours is only about music. Thinking. If he's not practicing, also if he's sitting in the plane or in the lounge, he's constantly thinking about what to do something, and which also give us a challenge. What we can do, because he never mentioned that how how small is this instrument? Standing out with sitar, sarod, santoor, and piano. If you see this, just 1.5 octave, and what he has done, he never complained about. This thing is not possible in this instrument because of his hard work and dedication and practice. Really give him this ability to perform with anyone, and what we have learned this from him. All a student, is open to take any challenge and to play with any genre of music, and especially thanks to the classical music. इसमें इतना practice and dedication है, so your foundation becomes really strong and big and huge, that you are able to jump in any other field.
How about studies, Rakesh? Do they not get affected? Because if you are practicing so much, and yes, you had a very strong kind of a foundation in terms of your family background.
Mhm.
How much does it, affect your other
Uh,
parts of
it
life as you grow
it
up?
it and that in my I'm not so old, but in my era, I think I'm definitely it was difficult because information was not available on net. आज का student, if anybody wants to learn a rag Yemen, you just type rag Yemen and you're having 1,000 of varieties of Yemen, an artist, and you can choose whose music you like it and you follow it. And studies also online is there, on internet is there. At that time, everything was physical. अगर सीखना भी है तो, and my bad luck was when I started learning. Babuji was already a star, so he wasn't there. He was traveling us time. At that time, the connection was not so much. So maybe a day before he had to go for a concert, and maybe a day later come. So wasting 2 or 3 days for one concert. And when he was in Bombay, in city, he was playing for all this film industry. So he was king at that time. He's still a king. But I'm talking about the dizziness. So it was very difficult for me to learn to achhi abhi nahi hai. So there was always a gap of like sometimes 3 months, 4 months. So it was just you practicing. So my father used to tell me to play Saregama and all that at that time. But yeah, definitely coming back to your question, the things was effective. I couldn't study much. I did my, FSC, and then privately I did a college because at that time when Babuji asked me, "Do you have any exam?" I want to take you for the Festival of India in Russia. So I thought, "Arey, plane mein baithne milega." Babuji, no exam. I failed it, and the school, I think they have passed me because all the paper had covered that. Okay, one of the young talent has been brought to Russia for performing for the Festival of India. So that helps, but yeah, it get effective for at that time for sure. But now I think everything is possible. If you see the young generation, they are very good in the studies also, plus they're doing the music also. A lot of musicians are engineer or scientists or whatever, but they can do two genres, it's possible.
Are you a CA?
Me, not at all.
Okay, no, I probably misheard it because I was very surprised because that's a completely full-time profession itself. But
Yeah.
anyways, Rakesh ji, now the Western people, probably the outsiders, the foreigners, they recognize Indian classical music, Indian performing arts music so much, and they have the global recognition in terms of Grammy. How do you rate India in terms of recognizing its own strength? That is where I started my entire interview with you.
Okay, well, India is very rich in culture and heritage, and when it comes to music, especially, our classical music has been liked and acknowledged all over the world. And I've seen in quite a few years, they are very much interested, the West musicians, to collaborate with Indian musicians, because Indian have that flavor. Everybody have something different to serve. If you go to any genre, it can be classical, semi-classical. Sufi now is very popular nowadays. There's bhangra, there's pop music, what not, fusion. The new word is fusion. New era age music is fusion music. So fusion is what you collaborate with any Western instrument or a Western musicians. And which comes out most of the time quite well, because it's a flavor what you're giving. It's seven notes all over the world. The science is gone. The world is gone where touching the ceiling, but nobody have generated the eighth note till now. So music is so strong, and it depends how you are learning, how you are practicing, and how you are executing. And that ability of having the thought process. uh, I would like to throw a suggestion to a musician: don't build a boundary, कि नहीं मैं classical कर रहा हूँ तो I will do only classical. Why not? There is so much to explore out of your pocket, so do it and just check it out, ki if you're liking or not. And there should be liking, because when I started playing with them, uh, earlier it was sounding alien to me. I mean, this note, maybe it's not there. The octave is not supporting me, to jam with them. But slowly, I found a way out. How can I merge with them? And with the help of Zakir Bhai, you do this way and do that way. So there's a lot of arrangement with if you're doing a collaboration with a Western musician, because generally they, हमारे तरह नहीं, you just close your eyes and play for hours and hours concert. So it's structured. It's there. What you have to play. There's a small bridge where you can explore and do whatever you want. So in that way, all Indians are very good. Good enough to just take away from there,
Why
take
is
off
there
and
why
do.
is there Rakesh ji such a, because we are short of time, also 6 more minutes to go, because आपको भी
Okay,
हमने 15 मिनट रिक्वेस्ट किया था और आपका सजेशन हमने,
no
because
problem.
people will be lined up,
Okay,
and I'm sure if they are not, I mean, Indian media cannot be more, naive than not now pursuing this gentleman, Rakesh Chaurasia,
thank
because
you. Thank you so much.
he is somebody who is going to be carrying the flag of India's performing arts along with peers of his age to the global arena, and also somebody, because we have Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia ji, we have Pandit Chanulal Mishra ji, Prabhat Ray ji recently left us. They're all Padma Vibhushans. We have Ram Narayan ji, Ram Narayan ji, somebody.
Ramanaji on Sarangi, yeah.
Yeah, Sarangi, he is still there with us. If I correctly remember,
Yeah.
he's 97. He's 97 and the oldest alive Padma Vibhushan musician in the highest rated. And rest Bharat Ratnas have all left us. Prabha Atreji, the latest Padma Vibhushan, also left us a month back. Now the entire torch, the batons lie in the hands of people like Rakesh Chaurasia, and his peers, who are Ganesh Rajagopalan, Selva Ganesh. All these are the names who are going to be carrying. Rakesh ji, why these South Indians make such a huge mark, in these Grammys? A.R. Rahman, M.M. Cream, I mean, Selva Ganesh, Ganesh Rajagopalan, Deepak, Sridhar. I mean, what is this wonderful thing about these Carnatic musicians that they are making such a big mark? And, and Pakistanis are
it's
not.
good. It's good. See, end of the day, we are all Indians. So it's not about Carnatic and all. It's a different style of music, the way we present. In fact, the name of the ragas also, if we call Bhopali, wahan pe Mohan hai. But it's the same notes. The style is very different. The small difference is that in North Indian Hindustani style, we explore. It's not the fixed music. The rag, once we announce the rag, now after that, everything is iCloud, all improvisation. Well, in there, it's a fixed music what they have to play. That's the system what we all follow. And
I think
sometimes
that
we
is
also do.
exactly, I think that is probably the reason, because I don't have any knowledge of music, but having talked to so many musicians like you in my series of the last few years, I've realized this. पहली बात तो ये classical music नहीं बोलना है. We have to call it शास्त्रीय संगीत, because it is based on
बिल्कुल.
शास्त्र, based on grammar. That is what
Right.
somebody, my good friend Pandit Kumaresh Rajagopalan taught me this in one of the interactions.
Mhm.
And the next thing I realize is that this Carnatic music, as you just now told, is about a particular band within which they cannot improvise too much. Unlike the Hindustani music, where there is so much of improvisation, even when a rag is announced, probably that is where they align with the Western psychology quite a bit, because Western music is completely within that contours of. Am I right?
Correct. It's a written music, yeah, definitely. They read the music, so it's structured. It's very well structured. That's why they sometimes they like to interact with Carnatic music, because they are used to a structure. हम लोग को याद करना पड़ता है. We have to write it and we have to try to fit the way, because we are used to of that system.
Have you had interactions with the film industry like your great Babuji?
Yeah, definitely. I do. I still do. I got a chance to play with Lakshmikant Terlal, the break I got. And thanks to him, because of him, I got to play with Anu Malik, Anand Milind, Jatin Lalit, in fact, Kalanji Anandji, and lately, his last film, Panchamda Adi Barmanji, 19 Love Story 1942, where I played the background score. But it was nice to have blessing from all of them, because in the music industry also have taught me a lot, which I incorporate sometime in classical, the way the phrases goes, and it's something to learn in that short frame. 3 minute के गाने में what you can do, आपको तो 8 बार का मिलता है, एक maybe fraction of seconds, उसमें what you can do. So that also help us to, when we get, एक जमाने में EP आता था, 3 minute में the whole raga was produce. So that's the ability of a musician, how you think that in short, how to present to be appropriate. So that we have learned from our film industry, a big support.
Your inspirations, sir, apart from Pandit Chaurasia ji, your inspirations in the Indian performing arts from both Carnatic and Hindustani classical music, because you've seen it from the closest quarters.
Yeah. And I've got a lot of things to learn from Zakir Bhai. When I started performing with him, I used to dream about when I used to accompany Babuji with and Zakir Bhai when I'm going to sit in the center and play with him. And God is kind, I got a chance to sit, and he also teaches a lot of things on stage. So this is the journey, what you go through, or I'll say that music is the only subject which has no ending. आप कोई भी सब्जेक्ट साइंस जो भी लेते हो, देयर इज अ एंडिंग कि ठीक है ये कोर्स खत्म हो गया, एग्जाम इज डन, वी हैव 99% एंड गॉट। म्यूजिक में ना, नेक्स्ट डे यू गेट अप एंड देयर इज ऑलवेज समथिंग न्यू टू डू। खत्म ही नहीं होता है, मींस एवरी डे कॉन्सर्ट इज लाइक गिविंग एग्जाम एंड गेटिंग द रिजल्ट आफ्टर द कॉन्सर्ट विद द अपलॉज and with the achievement what you have done. So वहीं पे रिजल्ट मिल जाता है, how was the concert of today.
Rakesh ji, finally, have you also been an applicant to the Padma Awards?
No, not yet.
And do you intend to in the future, or you want to probably skip the Rashtrapati Bhavan investitures?
No, I would love to have it if I get the opportunity, definitely.
ग्रामी अवार्ड विनर, भारत की शान, हमारे देश का गौरव राकेश चौरसिया ने आज हमें बताया. He's told us about his journey. He's told us about the greatness of the Guru Shishya Parampara, the disciple, and the Dronacharya Parampara in music. And he is somebody who's also very inextricably linked, like his his predecessors, with the film industry. I'm sure going forward, India, which is now in a high voltage kind of a zone with respect to reaching the 100th year of independence, will ensure that such assets, such prized kohinoors and properties of this nation are nurtured, and they are also supported in a manner like never before. And Padmas probably coming his way, probably with the Padma Shri, or I would suggest you straight away go for a Padma Bhushan, because because your peers are already Pandit Vishwamohan Bhatt and all, but then you are 53. Though you look like a 38, but you are 53. So anybody who's listening in the PMO should take a note of it. The 2025, especially this year, also is a very important year, being the centenary year of Kumar Gandharva ji. Kumar Gandharva ke 100th year ka ye saal hai. And this is also a very important year for performing arts music industry. And we should ensure that classical music, which has scaled heights like never before, with 7 nominations and 5 awardees. Am I right? There have been 5 awardees from India?
Yeah.
Should ensure that all these awardees, apart from the great Zakir Hussain, who are still devoid of the Padma Awards, soon start getting such recognitions, because recognitions are just basically facilitators. They don't need any kind of certificates. These great people, these great souls don't need certificates. But at the end of the day, since we are all humans, and certificates really make paths and roads a little easier for us, recognitions make it easier for people to recognize. And Pandit Rakesh Chaurasia is somebody who would definitely make Padma Awards richer next year. Good luck to you, Panditji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.